Good morning and welcome to Planet in the Word. I'm Candace and this is week 36. And this week's video is going to probably be fairly short. We're going to talk about the rest of Ezekiel. Now, I know that you are actually in Ezekiel for all of week 36 and about half of week 37, but I really want to spend week 37 talking about Daniel. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up all of Ezekiel right here, and you're going to be able to follow along because what we're going to talk about today is a significant portion of the end of Ezekiel. So last week we talked about the significance of the exiting of the glory of the Lord before the destruction of the temple. Well, a very interesting thing happens. Ezekiel has a vision in which he meets a man. That's what the word is used, but we are given to believe it's an angelic being of some kind who has a measuring stick. And for a significant portion of Ezekiel, probably 8 or 9 chapters, he's actually very methodically measuring out what appears to be a temple. Now, on your screen is going to appear an artist's rendering of this particular temple from Logos software. If you Google this, you can find lots of interpretations of what is being described here with words. We have a really hard time taking just the information and getting a very good, accurate picture, but this is good enough. It will totally help you in this process. So the question is, what is this particular temple? Well, what we know is this is a temple that doesn't exist. It's a new temple as Ezekiel is measuring it out. Now, it's interesting that he's actually measuring something that doesn't currently exist, which is why some academics have varying ideas of what is actually going on here. Because it says that Ezekiel is taken to the location of this temple and it's measured out, and yet at the same time we fully recognize that this is not a temple that currently or even in past existed. In fact, most academics across the board, Jewish and Gentile, agree this temple has never been built. It has not existed up to this time. So we have Ezekiel spending time with a being that is very methodically laying out the structure and then the order of worship that is supposed to go on there, and then a reorganizing at the end of the chapter how the tribes are to be laid out, no longer according to the Joshua divisions, but according to new divisions, with a territory of land given over to the prince. So those particular things are very interesting for us to note as we're reading through. Now, there's a few things that are happening that I want to draw your attention to that are a little bit different than last week, where we saw the glory of the Lord leaving. Because this time at the end of Ezekiel, starting in verse 43, we see the glory of the Lord returning. And where does he return from? He returns from the east. And it says that his glory fills the temple again. So we get this great picture that though the Lord left the temple in order for it to be destroyed, there is a new temple that is going to be built, and the glory of the Lord will come and dwell amongst the people of Israel once again. Now there's a very interesting verse that happens at the end of 42. As the angel or man or messenger, we'll call it angelic being, is measuring out the wall, one of the comments that is made is that the wall is there to divide the holy from the profane. That's a very interesting phrase because the temple is supposed to be built on land that is only belonging to the Temple Mount. There shouldn't be any profane up there. So this has led some biblical scholars to hypothesize that this is a third temple that is going to be built on the Temple Mount, possibly in modern time, because the profane could be referring to the worship of Allah at the Al-Aqsa Mosque that is currently on the Temple Mount. It is a very widely held sort of idea that, is it possible that what Ezekiel is measuring the third temple that is going to be dwelling beside what is currently on top of the Temple Mount? I will leave that up to you to do your research on and decide. The other hypothesis is that this particular temple is the temple of the millennial reign. Now that has some challenges also because of some of the sacrifices put forward that are supposed to be in a Christian era, and there is some tension that is created when a prince goes and offers a sin sacrifice, which he does. So that has some challenges also. What do we know for sure? We do know that this temple has never been built. We do know that Ezekiel actually has very descriptive words over what is going to be built and is very specific in it. So it's a beautiful passage to help clarify in our minds the importance that God puts on order, and the importance that he puts on worship, and the importance that he puts on location. And that above all else, what he really wanted was for his glory to dwell among his people again. So I hope you find that interesting. I hope in some manner it encourages you to and challenges you to do a little bit of digging and research and discover for yourself, what is it that I believe? Where do I think truth lies? And why do I think this is truth? How does Scripture state this? So I hope you find this interesting. I hope you have a great week. Thanks for stopping by.